Hello guys, welcome to another tutorial. Today we are going to follow a Blender Guru tutorial that taught me a lot about rigid bodies. So let's get started. Click on general and make sure to clean up the scene by deleting everything and adding a torus, and pop this tool out, and on the y-axis set it to 90 and zoom in on a little, frame it a little, and go to edit mode. Okay, and select the top half of it. Make sure you're on vertex selection mode, otherwise these dots won't show. And once selected and highlighted, pull the top bits up so that it starts to look like a chain of a link. Okay, now go back to object mode and set origin to geometry. Right, so now what we need to do is object, apply all transformations, and this will set everything to 0 and scale to 1. What you need to do is go to the set origin and geometry again, because that also changes the geometry. Alright, now go into this object's physics tab right here and click on rigid body. Whatever we do, don't forget to save. Okay, RJ1, never forget to save, because making this tutorial the Blender has crashed thrice. I had to record this 3 times. Okay, many reasons, because maybe something happened, maybe my OBS and NVIDIA, whatever. I also have something like a Grand Theft Auto patch running in the background. Anyway, so each of the link is about, say, a kilogram, and it shouldn't be this heavy. Let's put it to 0.5. Okay, half a kilogram is fine. Okay, so now what we're gonna do is set the shape to collision shape to mesh, otherwise it's not gonna work. Now once it's done, make sure you saved it, duplicate it. I'm using industry controls, so industry standard controls for me, so that's Control D for me to duplicate, and rotate this 90 degrees. Okay, now we have something. So if we press play, if it falls, your physics is working. Go back to frame 0 and copy this until we have enough. Okay, Blender Guru tutorials are amazing. This is one of the best tutorials out there. I really wish he would continue, but everything good must end, and there are enough tutorial people out there right now that if he likes pursuing other things, he should. I mean, he shares everything that he does, and even when he said like he ain't gonna do tutorials no more, he still does. I know he always will. Okay, every time Blender comes out with something new, of course. So select the whole thing and pull it upwards, because we need this bottom plane, because we're going to do so many things with it. Okay, now what we need to do, on the very topmost chain, click on it and select passive. What that's gonna do is make it fix. It's gonna obey all the rigid body laws, but it ain't gonna move. It ain't gonna follow the physics. Everything else will have gravity, this will not. So this will be a static now. This is a static rigid body, and these are all active rigid bodies. Click play, and you can see that our chain link is working. Okay, go back to frame 0, and the second most chain link, you need to increase its weight, otherwise I have seen it fall off when I'll attach a giant ball on the bottom. So set it to like 2 kilograms. That should do it. Okay, what I need to do now is go to the bottom of it, bottom one, and click on edit mode and add a sphere and a UV sphere. Okay, once added, this will add the object to the origin, which is 0 0 0, pull it up like this and make it bigger so that it's believable. Okay, that should be enough, and put it somewhere around here. Alright, so the weight of it should be about, say, 10 kilograms is enough. 10 kilograms. Okay, and go back to object mode. Now we need to press play and check everything is alright. Let's see, and we can see everything is alright. Okay, once the chain's extended, what we need to do is give it a swinging motion. In order to do that, select the top ones and simply make sure you're on frame 0, otherwise this won't work. Rotate it and bring it on top. Here we go, just like this. Just like this. Make sure you don't have too much slack or the chain will bounce around a lot. There we go, just like this, just like this, so that you can have a swinging motion when you press play, and that swinging will move forward. Okay, every time you hit play, before play, press save. Now let's see, here we go, it works. We may not have enough frames, so come get here, and on the end frame click on, say, 1000. Now you have a bigger timeline to work with. Okay, this works. So on the bottom one, right click and click on shade smooth, and actually we can do it to the everyone shade smooth. Okay, save again and add mesh. Let's add a small cube, and we're gonna turn this into our plane. Why I'm not using a plane instead of a cube to create the bottom? Because the plane will have a singular point of a hull, and that may cause problems. So I like my floor to have some thickness to it. That's why. It's just personal preference, nothing else. Okay, so click on this. Is also will be a rigid body, and this will be a passive rigid body, so this will not move. And hit play and make sure it here we go, which means I need to make it lower. We want the swinging to happen, swing just above the plane, above the floor we created, but not too much. A good way of doing maintaining your file is to name everything. So we are gonna click on the floor and name it floor. Everything else can be as is. Okay, so now let's see if I hit play. Still dragging on the floor, so we need to lower our floor a bit more. Hit play again. That looks about right. Okay, maybe a little bit more. Here we go. Okay, now what we're gonna do is add objects. So cube object. So here we go, we added a cube. We bring it on top, we make it slightly bigger, not that big, just slightly bigger. Okay, object, apply, scale, and we're gonna give it some properties. Just make sure it's slightly above the floor and not too much. And we're gonna make it rigid body, active, and have 0.2 kilogram weight. Okay, now the way Blender Guru did it is he created a 3x3 matrix grid out of this. So we're gonna do the same, but before that let's test it out. Okay, hit play. Here we go, it moves. So you have already achieved 90% of it. Rest is just hogwash. Anyway, so click on the cube, and we are going to start making arrays out of it. So we need 3 arrays: 1, 2, 3. We have 3 arrays, so one will be x and one will be y. Make it, give it 1. Everything else will be 0. On the top one, x is 1 and rest is 0. On the middle one, the x factor of x is 0, y is 1, and z is okay. But if you do that, they will like cling to each other and there will be no gap in between. We need some gap like this. Watch. So we need some gap. We need 5 of them in an array, and we need some gap. So 1.4 is I found that it's an okay gap. So count of 5, and okay, so 5, 5, y, and another 5 of, say, we're gonna fix all that, don't worry. So z of, okay, so 1.4. Here we go. Now it's a little bit skewed. Let's find out why is that. Placing it right here, Control S to save it, and we have lots of blocks, but they're a little bit off. Here we go, constant offset. I think I clicked it by mistake. Here we go. Now we have a nice matrix, but right now here is the problem. This, apply this, you need to apply all of it. Apply this and apply this. Now this is a single huge object. We need to separate this. Before that, we're going to set origin to geometry. Okay, so now what we need to do is click on this and go into edit mode, and Control A to select all my industry standard controls. So, and go into tab and separate by loose parts. Okay, now all of it is separated. Click all of them, and each object is now has been separated. So object, set origin to geometry. Now all of their geometry is in the middle. Now if we hit play, you are going to see the stacks and our ball hits. Okay, now we go into object mode again, and what we can do is make the thing heavier so that it has more of an impact. So let's see, object. What can we do about it? Physics properties. And right at this point, it's already done. The tutorial's done. It's just now applying materials and making it look more cooler. That's it. I'm gonna make the ball heavy. Let's see what happens. Does it give it a more swing, and does it have a bit more impact? I will find out. Okay, so let's apply materials and make this scene look a little bit better. Go into viewport shading mode and click on the floor, click on material. I'm just gonna use bright colors and say the floor to be slightly like this, a black, and maybe some metallic, and reduce roughness to make it shiny because everybody likes shiny things. And on the render properties, ambient occlusion, bloom, and screen space reflection, so that the floor reflects. And that's about it. We don't need more than that. And well, on the cube side, that's a lot of cubes. I'm gonna select it like this. I hold shift and deselect this one. That's a lot of cubes. Okay, selecting all the cubes, and just like that, by rotating your viewport and selecting them, what we're gonna do, it's not gonna apply, we have to copy this. Okay, so remove whatever. Is it selected? No. Okay, what we're gonna do is select one of the cube, press add, click new, say cube material, naming it cube material, and giving it say a red color. Okay, and next is we are going to select all of these, set our viewport right, selecting all of these, and make sure that this is the last block we select, the colored one, and go here and paste material, copy material to select it. Now all this will have the red color. To give it a few variations, I'm gonna do coupled with a bit of different colors. Say let's make a one called green, and give a few of the cubes, random cubes, some green colors. Copy material to selected, just to make it look interesting, nothing else. Copy material to I need to select the green first. Copy material to selected. Okay, and that is all right. So this is too green, let's make it red and blue. Okay, and now let's do the chain. Select all the chain, including the top one, except the bottom one, because we're gonna make it a different color. Select all the chain, and let's say chain material, and let's give it a color. What can we do? Let's give it a metallic black color. How about that? Make it metallic. Roughness is reduced slightly. Okay, yeah, all right. And click here and copy material to selected, and select the bottom one, and our ball, giant wrecking ball from Miley Cyrus, obviously lend it from Miley Cyrus. Anyway, so metallic, here we go, and increase the specular so that, and reduce roughness. Now we have a ball that reflects. Yay. Okay, now we have our scene. Now in order to make it a little bit believable, let's not make this look like it's hanging from infinity. Get a cube, put it on top, make it bigger, so that it looks like it is attached to something, anything, and say give it like chain material. Here we go. Now that's it, that's about it. Hit save, click play, and watch your tutorial from Blender Guru work in 2.93 or 3.0 Blender. There we go. You can also render this out in cycles, but before doing that we need to add a couple of let's say 3-point lighting system, and to do that we are going to light area. There we go. We're gonna need some area lights. We're gonna make them bigger, and we're gonna point from different angles. That's because that's what you do when you have area lights. There we go. Okay, go into, what is this, viewport shading mode, and go into rendered mode right here, and let's say increase the power to 1000. That's a lot. Not 1000, is it? Okay, so we need to go change from if to cycles. Okay, so apparently 1000 isn't enough. Let's do 10,000. Oh, let's do 50,000. That's a lot. Okay, copy this from another angle and make sure to point it at the cube. Bring it a little higher and copy this again. This is called a 3-point lighting because you're using 3 lights. Copy this higher and make sure we're pointing roughly at the cube and the ball, of course. And we have something. So let's change the color of the thing so that it's more interesting. Let's bring this a little bit more towards yellow, and let's bring this a little bit towards purple, or maybe, yeah, right here. Okay, and change values. So 6, I'm gonna give it 8 from the top, because from the top we need the most lights. Here we go. Now when it can zoom in and see it's in action. Let's see, let's play. And if we pause right here, let's see how it actually looks. It looks pretty cool in my opinion. Well, you can use Eve or this Blender cycles. It's completely up to you, but either way, this is the tutorial. Thank you for being here. And if you like my tutorial, I know it's a very small channel with only just 2 tutorials, but I promise to bring you more. Please subscribe. Thank you.